even remember to add us in at the last second. Hello, welcome to Canucks with Guitars. Greetings and salutations. I'm Ben. He's Terry. This is live Q&A. Yep, I said that. You got the Q's, we got the A's. Although sometimes it's Q and R. What's Q and R for those new people like Eric? Last night's winner. We don't even do contests all the time. The guy just shows up. Hey, what's happening? Bam! Wins himself a Motley Crue t-shirt, which was awesome. So ours are rants. Because sometimes your questions can trigger a rant. We never know when it's going to happen. It's kind of like tiptoeing, through the swamp, trying not to step on a gator. Terry's like, what are you talking about? We're Canadian. All right. Step on a snapping turtle. Thought it was a rock. Oh, in there.
Well, I think that's pretty much anywhere in North America, snapping turtles. So,
yeah. On that note, we got a Scarborough 6-pack, aka a 2-4 in the chat already. So this is how it works, folks. It's really simple. You want a shout out? Say hi. Or hello. Or greetings. Something. Make yourself known in the chat is what I'm saying. And then if I see you, I'll acknowledge you.
And if I didn't say hi to you, saying UPS will not get you a shout out.
It will not. I'm going to start with Thomas Santiago. LRM Guitars. Fellow Canuck LRM Guitars. Michael Kraus. Who else we have? Tim Thomas. Octopus Ears. Symmetry, fellow Canuck. Skipping over him until I see him again. Oh, there's Symmetry. Perfect. Yep. BC Rich 581's here. Yep. Janice Lala. All Dave, all night. Charles 75N. Last night's winner. Eric Warrington. Depending on the accent aigu or the accent grave. Yes, I agree, BC Rich. Tesi has up their game with this shirt. Oh, contest winner design thing? I don't remember exactly, but I like it. I wear it. That's how it works. Or if you send me a t-shirt, chances are I'll wear it. Scott Brockway knows what I'm talking about. So does Paul McNary. I was hanging out with Paul McNary on the Zoom hang on Saturday, along with BC Rich 581 was there. And let's see, who else was in the chat that was there? Charles 75N. He was there because he set it up. That's how it works. Yeah. I didn't even message him to set it up, Terry. I just put it out in the old exclusive video for the patrons and or channel members. And I said, well, maybe Charles should set something up and blah, blah, blah. And then I forgot about it, released the video, and all of a sudden Charles sent me a message. It's set up. I'm like, what set up? Oh, right, the hang. Yep. Exclusive hang. That was fun. Ryan Hall. What's up, buddy? Let's see. Scott Brockway. JP Page 2.
Robbie Johnson.
Martin Lemaire. Scrolling down the bottom. Hip Metalworks. Octopus here. Symmetry. Tim Thomas. BC Rich. Robbie Johnston. What's up, buddy?
That's caught on when Janice is saying it. Thomas Santiago.
Hey, is this my speaker? What's up, buddy? Welcome. Oh, wow. You're just going for all the nastiness there. Yep. You know what? I was good yesterday. Trying to Mike was live. What's up, Mr. Lee? He says, I live in Detroit, just north of Canada. Yeah, I love that reference because that's correct. I know. I lived in Windsor for 6 months. Welcome, Mr. Lee. Where was I going with that before I was distracted? Squirrel.
Hangout?
Oh, yeah. China Mike was live yesterday, Terry. Had a PRS and a Dano on stands behind him. I was good. I didn't muck him. Tarman 45, he was on the Zoom hang. Paulie Walnut, he was not. No offense, Paulie. Just say he wasn't. Housekeeping. We thank the sponsors of the show on the banner at the beginning. And who were they again? I'm just going to randomly shout out LPD Pedals, Reno Fin Custom Guitars, Tesi Switch, Tone, Vibra PTM Guitars, Flipside Music, and Ardens Music. And also Patreon
members out of the way.
if you want to get exclusive content, which is at least one exclusive video a month, if not more. More being if I have an unboxing to do, basically, Terry. What I'm saying, you're guaranteed at least a video a month. Plus, apparently, a couple exclusive hangs off air where pretty much anything goes. Yep, I'll talk about anything on those calls. Like, there's certain subjects I won't get into here, Terry. I'll get into them there. If you want my opinion, I hope it doesn't affect your opinion of me. But hey, you asked. Guitar Man 45 Symmetry. Oh, I forgot to put up the link. There it is. You get a shout out as well. Joe C, Keith H, Knucklehead 0, unfucking believable, Charles 75N, John ZD351, JP Page 2, Fruitcake Tony, Ben Tom, Blackjack Guitar, Grumpy Mike Guitar, Cousin Todd Flowers, Charles Green, who was on last night, Absolute Mayhem, Other Left, Randy Crooks, and Mohogany. Ryan, I agree. Last night was a cool show. Let's see. Yep. Saskatchewan would be so much cooler if you could get into it climbing through a wardrobe.
Jeez.
Yeah. You know what? True.
I was just looking at Michael Krause's comment. So last week I asked about a GNL versus a Paul Reed Smith SE. Everyone said get the GNL, so I went out and bought an Ibanez AF71 Artcore single floating mini humbucker. Here comes the jazz chords.
Yep, you're gonna have to play all those ones that are like they got letters and numbers in the chord name. Yeah, and you're gonna guess what? You're gonna come real familiar with using your pinky. Oh yeah. Charles says become a Patreon member. Who couldn't use a little more Ben in their lives? Well, my ex. That's found she had entirely too much of me in her life. And well, I probably wouldn't be doing YouTube if we were still together, Terry. So one of the many reasons I'm happy she gone. John Shane's still looking forward to receiving his embers. I bet. I'm not saying you may have heard my embers earlier, Terry. Just saying. Off air. I've been flipping through preamp stuff, deciding what I like and what I don't. I don't know. I like it all.
So I don't have an Embers, but I actually played through everything earlier in the 2 videos I posted up. Well, the one video I posted up.
You played what?
Played pretty much everything that I had for gain or distortion earlier in the video that I just had recently put up.
So everything but an Embers.
Yes.
Well, spicy because it's variety, and that's the spice of life. So, yes. Any questions? What else can we do for housekeeping? How about this Sunday's guest, Easter Sunday? We have RJ Ronquillo returning. So that sounds fun. Love hanging with RJ.
Yeah, I can't remember. I thought you were saying that he wasn't sure about Sunday.
No, that was the guest that was going to appear last night who wasn't able to. And so then I reached out to Charles, and Charles was like, heck yeah, let's do it. Octopus here says, I was on fire earlier playing my guitar. I hope it translates this Friday. I don't know if I told you, Ben. I'm auditioning for a metal band on Friday. Any advice? Yep.
Shred doesn't pay.
Well, he's playing metal, so it might in this instance. Now, all right. Depending on the situation, like let's say, I'll throw this out here right away. If you're joining as a second guitar player or additional, awesome, Eric. Yeah, I love RJ too. He's a good buddy. We always have fun. Janice, I get it. You deal with what you need to deal with. So if you're joining as a second guitar player, Terry, have I don't know how much of a variety of tone you can bring with you, but have a bit of a variety just in case you find you have an identical or similar tone to him, because you want to have something to differentiate. Yes! That deserves a bowl after this. Wear leather. I like that idea.
Yeah, wear leather and spikes.
Wear dark clothing. Do not wear a Hawaiian shirt. But no,
I guess in the same vein of what you were just
I will say
saying.
it depends on how serious they take themselves, and the fact that, and I mean by if they take themselves too seriously, like if they're the type that wear stage wear 24/7, show up in stage wear. But if they're cool, like you know them a bit already, and you know like you can just wear a Tesi Switch shirt, then wear a Tesi Switch shirt.
Definitely do
But if
not
you're
show
showing
up
up
in
as
Red
the
Hot Chili
only,
Pepper style.
if you're showing up as the only guitar player, I don't know what you're bringing for gear, but if you bring in like a Floyd Rose guitar, bring two, just in case. Because the hardtail is a lot easier to throw a quick one string on, Terry. I would not say have a beer before rehearsal. And this is coming from a guy who never plays sober. But if offered, take. And they go, oh, it was a trick. Then you don't want them. You don't want to be in a band with those guys. They're already being dinks. They're playing tricks on the new guy. You're not even in the band yet. But, if they're offering pints, definitely, partake, assuming that you do partake. Yeah, you know what? You can he mentioned, look presentable. Okay. Terry, I'm going to call it the backstage wear as opposed to stage wear. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's say stage wear is like stage wear, whatever almost costume mask will say, like you're wearing leather pants and possibly a shirt where the collar is ripped out of it. So it's, like the sides are cut out because that's what you're wearing. Essentially, you're wearing a bib with leather pants. However, backstage, ball cap backwards is not a bad idea. Like if you have long hair, wear it in a ponytail with the ball cap backwards. That's fine because that's I've got her locked down for now, folks. Is what I'm saying, right? A t-shirt with a brand on it. Like if he's showing up with his Kiesels and he's wearing a Kiesel t-shirt, that's cool because brand wear. How often do we see photos of guys wearing an Ernie Ball t-shirt or something, Terry? Right?
Unless they're not fans of Kiesel, then you're screwed.
Well, this is true. This is true. Nah, it's a metal band. They probably like Kiesels.
I was gonna interject and add that in the same vein of what you're saying about bringing gear that would be appropriate to what they play. If you know what they're playing in the way of style or genre of metal,
Well, I assume they've given you some material to learn before you show up.
Yeah, but like in that essence, if they're if they're death metal or something like that, bring equipment or gear that's going to be applicable to that style of music.
Oh yeah,
So,
I think so, and definitely. Hey, Brad. Hey, Fluke do, by the way. I would say, like I say, a bit of a variety in tone, which you might want to do anyways. I'm sure, like if they've given you any music to learn, you kind of know what they're looking for. Be open-minded. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. Because remember, I don't know. At least as far as I'm concerned, there's a lot of other people talk to. The playing is just as important as your ability. And also, if it's a metal band that's going to be playing locally for a cut of the door, you're not getting paid.
Okay, he's indicated what they are.
Gave me three songs: Godsmack, Tool, and Judas Priest. Okay,
Priest.
that's a variety.
Yeah, that's a pretty sweeping range of guitar tones too.
Yeah, big variety. For that, you would almost want to go for a Tool-y tone because I'm thinking gain-wise, that might be in the middle. That way your Judas Priest is going to sound gainier, which is cool. But
gain and treble for Priest.
Yeah. What I'm seeing there is no mids. No mids will be used during this rehearsal. But
yeah,
be open-minded. Don't be a dick. But obviously offer knowledge on something if you have it. But don't sound like a dick when you go, hey, Tony. So, speaking of which, excuse me. Oh, I like that. I'll send you my BE for the night. Yeah, no kidding, John. This Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern, there is a very special edition of Halenville over on the Fruitcake Tony channel. Folks, check it out. If you're not already subscribed, I see there's 46 of you watching. Definitely check them out. They're doing a deep dive on the 5150 guitar, and they've got a panel of experts. I was not called for this, and I'm glad I wasn't, because compared to these guys, I don't know anything. And break in your strings before you go. Fresh strings, but break in your strings before you go, octopus ears. That's what I do. Like, put an hour's worth of playing on them. Get them stretched in. You don't want to be going out of tune. Tuning stability. I can't think enough. You want to, because if you sound out of tune, you're just going to sound like a shitty player.
Which is fine if you're
guys,
trying out for a grunge act.
Oh, thanks, Eric. Handmade in Canada. By our friends at Reno Fin. Our friends, Travis. And if if I don't know, bring extra weed. Never hurts. And maybe a surprise guest. Ooh, Tony, I dig that. I'm going to be tuning in, hopefully, as long as I remember. I really want to watch. Always enjoy those things. Plus, I might have to burn Dave on the show. I don't know. Oh, speaking of which, on this Thursday's Guitar Town Hall, Terry, we have no guest, but it's NGD, New Guitar Dave.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to say what he got, but if you've been paying attention to the shows, he got something.
Probably already got an idea.
Yeah. I'm not going to give it away on here, but yeah. If you know what he's currently been lusting over, right, Terry? Let's say over the last few weeks. And let's say Andy Allendorf may have played an example of it last week. So that narrows it down a bit because he played a variety of guitars.
I would, if I had to guess, I'm venturing to guess Dave probably mentioned it this past Thursday with Andy on.
He did, as well as the Thursday before that we mentioned it, I believe. So that's all I'm saying.
I'll definitely be interested to see that.
Tony asked, do you have race plans for the season? No, because I am not traveling at all. So unless there's a race near me, that's the only way I'm going.
Well, flip-de-doo, that's an interesting suggestion. Wear corpse makeup and fishnets.
Well, see, had Pete Thorne done that with the Nine Inch Nails audition, would he have gotten in the band?
Oh, I never knew that Pete actually had an audition with Trent Reznor for Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah, he was basically in the band for a nanosecond. Like, it was down to him and somebody else, I think. I could be wrong on that, but yeah, he did.
Wow.
He did go in and play with them at one point. And in some ways he thought I think he said for quite a while he thought that was his biggest regret, was missing that opportunity. But then on the other hand, maybe not. Trent, I think, was a bit of a handful at that time. I don't know if he's still a handful or not, but at that time he was a handful to work with, I guess. For a variety of reasons. I don't know.
Didn't think so for a while.
There are some people that are real, like listening to Andy last week talk about Dickie Betts, like with the volume swells in unison, you got to do the same amount of swell at the same time and get it exact. So it sounds like basically like strings section. I'm just like, I couldn't work for that man. I'm not that good, Terry. I'm way too sloppy and inconsistent. And like I've often said, the last band I played in, I played a handful of lead on a handful of songs. I can tell you, I never played the same solo twice. And if I did, it was purely by happenstance.
Yeah, it's a lot different when you're a perfectionist and there's other perfectionists, but
then again, I've never learned the song note for note because I don't see the point. I find the easier cop-out is to quote-unquote put my stank on it, which is what I've done the last decade, and it's worked for me on somewhat level.
Eric,
Yes, he
if
is a
you
wealth of knowledge.
Eric, if you actually go back in the back videos of Ben's channel here, you will find a Canucks with Guitars episode featuring Pete Thorne.
He's been on twice.
Oh,
You were on once with him, and he was on once
yes.
before that.
Yes, true.
Yeah. Or should we say, I've been on with him once, and you and I watched Tom interview him once. I can resist, Tom, if you're watching and lurking.
That is very true. That was an interesting
Once we went off air, Tom's just like, I'm sorry I can't play. Hey, Louie Flex. It's like,
Hey, Loogie.
Yeah, Octopus here has mentioned a lot of players improvise their solos, some varying degrees. Yeah, I think like after a while, I would play like 75% of the solo was the same, but not necessarily in the same order even. Like it was a handful of riffs that I knew I was going to hit during a solo. And I started out, yes, actually come to think of it, Terry, I start out every solo the same. Not every solo the same, but every solo the same way each time I performed it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, say initial one was like do, and I would do that, and then from there, depending on how comfortable or how much liquid courage was in me, then we had the solo would take its meandering course. Hello, Micah's himself, and Eddie Van Haskell, and New York City.
And New York City pizza sucks.
Trifecta. I think the carpool, Gary, even though they live nowhere near each other, I think it's the world's worst carpool, but I think the carpool because they all showed up.
I was going to say, like, as far as I know, like, players back around the 80s and 90s, apparently Eric Clapton was one of the few artists who actually kept changing up his songs and his solos.
I think the biggest example that would have to be Bob Dylan, who would change musical arrangements of songs, lyrics of songs, tempo of songs, to the point where you're like, Terry, the song's a different tempo. He's singing different words and playing different chords. How is this song? Like, no, that's a new song. If you change the lyrics, the tempo, and the arrangement, it's a new song. Hey, Robot Master Switch.
Yeah, thanks, Robot. Hey, Blackjack Guitar.
Thank you, Loogie Flex. Enjoyed last night's show, which a lot of people have caught on replay as well. Hey, Johnny. But then, there's a lot of bands like, I want to hear it note for note like the album,
Mm-hmm.
Like I would think Van Halen fans very much wanted to hear Eddie play those songs note for note because they knew those songs note for note.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that'd be like
Blackjack Guitar
going to a Kiss concert and actually hearing a song like not played right. It would be a shock because they've played it so many times, note for note.
Probably tempo sped up quite often. Rush plays note for note, right? Yeah. Boomster Black. Dang it! Every time. I might have to. No, I think I would say Boomer, but that's could be insulting to somebody. But unless you're a Boomer, Doug Strong's here. Guess what? Doug Strong was on the Zoom call the other night or other day, Terry.
That's what I was asking if anyone different had came on.
Yeah, we had a Canuck. Doug. He's out of Hamilton. And it was funny because, I'll relay the story here. So the other night, Charles 75N and I are on the telephone, shooting the breeze as we do from time to time. And I don't know if you knew, Terry, but if you go to longandmcquaid.com or say, hey, Boomer is fine. Sweet. Thank you. I appreciate that. Boomer. So if you go to Long McQuaid, right, and you look at all their stores, Terry, it'll tell you the distance in kilometers, how far they are from you, right? Well, as you know, and most folks in the chat don't know, but some know. Hey, Zach knows. Hamilton and Burlington are basically right next to each other because they've grown, abutted. Jim Woodard. Eagles were always note for note, Well, for what you pay for a ticket, they should be. Boom! Anywho's, so I'm thinking about, with the limited highway system, Terry, I'm like, okay, to go to Hamilton/Burlington, I would take the 401 to the west end of Toronto, hop on the QEW, more than likely, to veer south towards the Hammer, aka Hamilton. And then I figured the stores had to be like 2 exits apart because from where I am, it was showing them maybe 10 kilometers difference in distance. And I was like, this is crazy. So as soon as he came on the call, it's like the first question I asked him, I'm like, how close are the Burlington and Hamilton long of Quades? He's like, really? This is what we talk about on these calls? I'm like, yes. Yes. So if you want to hear action-packed conversations, like how close are the Burlington and Hamilton L&M locations? But he was telling me, I think the Burlington store is one of their flagship stores. So that's one to check out sometime. But the Hamilton one, not so much. And I'm like, yeah, it's Hamilton. You know?
Yeah, I could see that. Well, any of the ones that are around Toronto would have to be like larger stores to begin with.
No, they just make more of them. It's like Tim Hortons. Rather than building a flagship Timmy's, they just put in like 4 fucking little drive-through armpits.
Oh, that would be terrible. I'd hate to see that. Oh, let's go to Long and McQuaid, Unit 4 at such and such. Well, why would we go to that when we can go to Unit 1 like 10 minutes earlier? It's like, God.
Yeah.
Let's hope it never gets to that point.
What else we talked about? Well, we talked about gear. Go figure. And Canadiana. It was very much like one of these shows in that way. Because, I'm not going to lie, but Doug was wearing the old Moosehead Brewery shirt. So we had to talk about that.
Moosehead. Ooh, that was some interesting beer.
I won't give them their business, Doug. Don't worry about that. Believe me, I've been fucking anti Tim Hortons for years. They are literally, if I'm eating at Tim Hortons, it's because they're the only place open.
I'll admit,
Guitarman 45 says he went to a couple of venues there in Hamilton in the 90s. Cool. I've never been to a show in Hamilton. I've been to Hamilton. There's a restaurant supply wholesaler, Terry, sells used restaurant equipment. Hey, Lawrence. Mr. LPD Pedals himself. And Dad and I have made a few runs to Hamilton to pick up like stainless steel countertops and triple sink units and stuff. Where it's a big unit where they got the countertop, 3 sinks, and another countertop, and it's all one piece. So you got to rent the biggest U-Haul they have. That's like with the 20-foot box on it. Yeah. And I ride shotgun all the way home. So basically working as a spotter. So every time Dad wanted to switch lanes, are we clear? Yep, we are now.
Michael Krause says Tim Hortons is better than Dunkin' Donuts. I don't know. I hear they're very, very comparable.
I haven't had Dunkin's coffee in a while, and I don't know if I've ever actually had Dunkin' Donuts. So, you feel about Tim Hortons the same way I feel about Starbucks. They can keep it. Oh no. I had issue with Starbucks because Terry, Q&R. This rant's, I don't know, 20 years old. Because 20 years ago, Terry, I would say, who the fuck would spend $5 on a coffee? Which I guess with today's standards, who the fuck would spend $10 on a coffee?
Thank God we're not to that level yet.
First of all, I like flavored coffee. Cream and sugar because I'm Canadian. Double. Not Timmy's double, but double, cream and sugar. But Terry, if it takes you longer to order your coffee than it does to make the coffee, it's not coffee. It's not fucking coffee. I will say they do make a decent hot chocolate, but it ain't a fucking $5 hot chocolate.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Their prices are crazy, but in comparison to product to what Crappy Tim's offers, I'd rather have Starbucks products.
So, I think Boomer says he's in South Illinois. I've spent some time in Southern Illinois. Whereabouts? I was in the Joliet area, if that helps, which was awesome because you always heard about that Joliet, Illinois, and Blues Brothers movie, Terry. I'm like, what? I get to go to Joliet, Illinois? Aaron's like, it's not that nice a place, Terry. It's really not that nice. And I'm like, I don't care. I get to go there. He goes, yeah, well, we'll keep the doors locked in certain neighborhoods. I'm like, all right.
John, if you find that Tim Hortons doesn't give you gut rot and it's quick, I definitely suggest the McDonald's coffee.
There you go. I just can't get over the smell of Tim Hortons coffee. It smells like sock. It smells like wet socks.
And, honestly, I do think it's the water source. Because there's
Not
a lot of people...
Time, most of the time.
Because there's a lot of people that are in the GTA and they're like, oh, the coffee in the GTA tastes so good. It's like, not with the water source of the GTA. If you came up north and had like a Tim Hortons coffee from up here, you'd be like thinking how much the GTA stuff would be garbage.
I wasn't in prison, Mike. I was hanging with Aaron. Speaking of long way, I was at the Oshawa location last Monday. Zach says, "Now, see, that's a classic location, Terry.
Yeah,
because back when L&M only had, let's say, 10 locations, maybe across Canada, the Dirty Schwa was one of the locations. It was like Toronto, the Dirty Schwa, Ottawa, Montreal, Vancouver, like provincial capitals, and a few in the GTA."
New Jersey with 1 million lakes, they can't find one with decent tasting water.
See, that's the problem. They pulled the water out of Lake Ontario, which all the lakes feed into. So it's at the end of the line.
Yeah.
The good water's up north. Actually, the real good water's still frozen this time of year. Gibson month, no stock, of course. Mayhem is not a fan of McDonald's coffee. Well, that's fine. Mike Jones is here. My dad actually concluded what's the difference between the Tim Hortons water supply was the second time I've ever heard that, so now I believe it. Here we go. All right. Terry, see, you're just throwing these conspiracy theories out there, but then they all of a sudden confirm up, and Mike Jones is like, ha-ha.
Well, it's true. It's just like they say when you make coffee in general at home. What you put in is water. If you put in crappy water, it tastes crappy. If you put in like bottled water.
All right. So Hip Metalworks hitting that nail right on the head. He says Oshawa, because all the car company money can be the only yeah, exactly. They always had a flagship store because you had people that because it's a blue collar job, basically undereducated for the amount of money you're making, as opposed to I have to have an advanced degree to make the same amount of money, which is nothing wrong with that. I have no issue with that. It's again, hearkening back to a previous thing I mentioned. It's good for the economy. I mentioned last night, Terry, when you blow all your paycheck every week, that's a good thing because it booms the local economy. And at that time, let's say in the 80s, the Oshawa plant had 30,000 employees, and how many of them would want to play a guitar? So with 30,000 employees making sweet fucking money. Maxim So says Chicago water tastes like spent pistol and rifle rounds.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing at that comment. I'm like, that's probably the truth.
I'm especially laughing because I've been watching a lot of videos on the history of Chicago recently. So, because there was a lot of videos on the history of Chicago. Fascinating history with that city. The river used to flow the other way, and now it doesn't. I'm like, that's impressive. I don't know how you do that. Engineers do. I do not. Sup, Jeff K? Channel member.
I mean, it kind of makes me think of, like I said, the one time I went to California and I was actually at the Edwards Air Force Base in their entertainment place. And the person that brought me there bought me a Budweiser. And I remember going, this is a Budweiser? And they're like, yeah, it's good beer. I'm like, not where I'm from. It tastes like crap.
Real.
And they're like, well, where are you from? Canada. Oh. Well, I'm like, you should have a Canadian Budweiser.
That's the funny part. You can say our water's better or different. I'll say different because guess what? I can't stand Coors Light in this country, Terry, but I can drink it in the U.S. It tastes good. I was like, it's very fractional difference, but it's just enough that it makes it tolerable. And I don't know what it is, and maybe because I'm usually drunker when I'm in Coors Lights. That's how you know Ben's had a few. If you see a CL in my hand, whoo, you know Ben's already had a few. Brad says, "Excuse me, I'm from the U.S. and Bud is crap." Yep. The only advantage to drinking Budweiser, Terry, and it's the same advantage why. Okay, you may recall back in the day, you see a lot of band photos in, let's say, Hip Parade or Circus, and when they got a pint in their hand, and quite often you may notice that pint is a Heineken. And do you know why a lot of bands drank Heineken back in the day?
No.
It was the only beer you could buy anywhere in the world. So, and it basically tasted the same anywhere in the world. So it's your one consistency. You know, like have a case of Heineken backstage every show, blah, blah, blah. Budweiser, I would say, is at that point now. They've saturated the world market enough where you can pretty much go anywhere and they can have a case of Bud, ice cold, Beechwood aged.
We have a Michael B that's actually back to Michael B.
Michael B's back to Michael B. Welcome back, Michael B. Speaking of Budweiser, you may or may not know, Terry knows a bit because, he moderates Canucks every Tuesday on the Canucks YouTube channel. But Budweiser, heavily involved in the sport forever, we'll say. So one year they decided to have all the Clydesdales and all that rigmarole, apparatus, infrastructure. Oh, there's infrastructure, Terry, because to parade them out on Sunday, those horses were at the track Thursday. So they had a corral, cage setup kind of thing next to the bathhouse thing. So I had nothing worse than, you wake up with a hangover and you got to go take a leak in the worst way. And you got to walk by half or a dozen Clydesdales. Oh, that air's a bit thick.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, first, I just had to take a piss. I might have to puke too while I'm there. Oh, this is not good. You're like, oh. And those are big fucking horses. If you've never seen a Clydesdale up front, it makes a horse seem like a pony and makes a pony seem like a dog. You're like, holy crap. I'm like, those things are big.
Hey, Leo.
They all got their names because they all have their own areas. All right, what do we got going on here? Horses hate loud noises like cars. Yeah, I get they're used to it, though. That's why I think they bring them in. So they're there for all the practices, and they're there for everything. Yeah. Plus, I think they raise these horses, Terry, in North Carolina, just to keep them used to the sound of stock cars. I'm just saying. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. I've had a stout, and I would not have another one. I'm a pansy when it comes to beer. I like beer flavored beer, and I like just regular, like a Budweiser or a Labatt's Blue, or just a. You cannot get middle of the road enough, Terry. I am on the painted line. I am so far in the middle of the road when it comes to my beer, and it's just the way I am. Like, if you have to tell me a story about the beer, I don't want it. I'm sorry, I don't want it.
Hey, Muddy H2O, and interesting, he says, fun fact, Canadian Heinz ketchup is better than in the U.S. I cross often just to get some.
Nice. And now our Heinz is basically French's ketchup.
Yep.
Because French has bought the old Heinz plants in Canada.
Oh, did you see that post I posted up on my Facebook? About that Kraft actually came out with the Dijon ketchup.
Nice.
They did it. They made, what was it, 100 bottles, and they gave them away for free. But that was it. That was the only one.
John's Lagers and Pilsners. See, yeah, you had me at Pilsners. So that's what blue is. I don't do microbrewers. And that's my challenge to a microbrewer. Okay, make a beer that tastes like Labatt's Blue, because that's what I like. Yeah. Oh, you see, yeah, you're playing with fire there, Mike. With it, I know though I've had a few pints where they're a 6.7, Terry, but they taste like a 5. Oh, you pound back a couple of them, then you go to stand up, and you're like, oh, wait, we might have to rethink this. Hey,
Yeah,
D-Mac.
it's definitely not like the what was it, Labatt Triple X? That was like 8 proof. That stuff
It was
was
7
potent.
or 7.3. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
there was a
there's
Labatt
Big
one.
Hoss, the legend. Just had the Melbourne F1 GP. That's right. I managed to get some Ferrari
Nice.
winner Charles Leclerc signed my Ferrari red strap eye. Nice. Oh, 12%. Mike, that's
Ooh,
wine. Wine is 12%. And I do not drink my wine like I drink beer. I
that
don't
would
drink
be
it
like
now,
mead, probably. I wonder if that's what Mike's actually saying it is. That he had as like a mead type thing.
you can't buy a beer, you rent it. Exactly.
That's actually what I think Scott actually said about McDonald's. No, it was Eddie Van
Rain,
Haskell
yep,
said
sure.
that about McDonald's food.
Speaking of the Clydesdales, where did they pee? Well, they each had, I don't know, like let's say a 20-foot by 20-foot. I don't want to use the term cage corral, but it had a roof on it, so it's weathered, and there was sides they could put down of some kind, which I think were even canvas, just to kind of, because similar to birds, once they're like, they don't see everything that's going on, they are more docile. Or maybe they drugged them. I don't know. I probably didn't do that. PETA, they did not drug them. Excuse me.
Yeah, just to clarify, we're not actually being biased or unbiased against anyone that drinks or doesn't drink.
Oh,
Like,
no.
everything is good for everyone.
Yeah. See you, Mike. Yeah, I just found I'll drink socially. I suppose like I'm over at your place, Terry. You're like, hey, pint. All right,
Yeah.
but maybe, especially if it's hot, it's a cold pint. I'm like, oh, all right, let's have a pint. But I'm not one of those guys that used to drink and you shouldn't drink, or drinking now. Like Rich now drinks the non-alcoholic beer, and he goes through that like he used to go through beer, but drinking that's better for him then, but
just means he has
I
to
just don't
drink
see the
about
point.
probably 20 to get one actual beer.
Yeah, I'd rather just sip on a can of soda pop. I like it better.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm at the point, the way I see it, what? I'm almost 48. If I'm going to have a drink, why not? Or anybody, just drink something you really want to drink. Like it's like what somebody said once. Don't cheap out on coffee. Like if you're a coffee drinker, Terry. Like not even if I drink coffee all day, every day. I'm not even talking about you guys. Even if you have, I get up, I have my 1 cup a day and that's it. But I gotta have my 1 cup. Make it a great cup.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what I said. I don't.
What's it
I
gonna
don't
cost
drink
you?
a
An
lot.
extra $20 a month?
Yeah,
Maybe?
I don't drink a lot, and I don't partake of things a whole lot because money is not exactly easy at moments for me. But also at the same time, if I do decide to have some type of indulgement in that way, yeah, I get something decent. I don't get like crappy.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll have both. I might have some crappier stuff because it was on sale, and then I'll have that half the time or something like that. Or Boomer likes weed too. Well, that's good. Yeah, I have no problem with that too. And it's funny with that. I find out the same amount no matter what I spend on it, so I might as well get the cheap stuff. Yeah, that's true, John. I can't drink like when I was 25 anymore.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, the last few trips down south, just getting into the habit of, well, just because I was basically substituting alcohol for weed for alcohol or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I was drinking much more as a result, and I got to the point where I was day drinking beer, then have a Gatorade or a water, but it's not like drinking it drunk. But I would have like 3 beers over the course of the afternoon between lunch and dinner type thing, and then have another 6-pack after that. I can't drink any energy. Terry and I were talking about that off air. I can't drink any of that. Whatever is in them, I taste it and I don't like it because they all taste like, I'm like, what's this? Carbonated cough syrup mixed with pop or something? Like,
yeah,
it might as well be. Like, that's what it tastes like to me. It's just, it's unappealing as cough syrup.
To me, I'd rather drink coffee than a Red Bull. I
yeah.
find Red Bull just has no real good taste. There's very few like energy type of drinks that are actually any good.
A can of Coke or 2 cans of Coke. They get caffeine, sugar.
Yeah. Or in my case, I'll either do Vita Water or Arizona green tea with ginseng and honey.
Hey, Cushman.
Pretty much it.
Or if I need caffeine that bad, Terry, I'll just get one of those little 5-hour energy drink deals.
Yeah.
Which I don't know,
hey,
like Cushman. To this day, and I probably had them at least a dozen times. I don't know if they work. Because when I've taken them, it's been at the point where, Terry, I'm like, oh, fuck, I think I slept 2 hours last night. I am not doing well. And so I didn't end up passing out that particular morning and or day. Barely. But, hey, Travis, teas are good. Again, I tried messing around with different teas. I like tea-flavored tea. Like, whatever. Like Red Rose, Tetley. You know, like tea, which I think is black tea, I think. I think it's black tea.
Yes.
Yeah, just whatever. That's the British in me, you know, because mom was a tea drinker. She wasn't a coffee drinker, per se. So, like, we didn't even have a coffee maker in our house till I was a teenager.
Yeah, Arizona makes
I just got an update that a certain someone, is Eric still in the chat? Oh. Someone's t-shirt was just ordered. I'm not going to tell him what it is. But it is ordered. He knows the band, obviously. But I'm not going to tell you which one. So, it's on its way.
That's just scary, Doug Strong. An Olympic-sized pool of Diet Coke.
How many? I think I still have half a dozen soda pops to try out upstairs in the fridge. Most of which I have no desire to drink. Which sucks. No, it's like, because like it's either I'm looking forward to it or I am not looking forward to it. I think. Oh no, there's that one Brazilian berry one. I'm kind of looking forward to that one. Hey, Johnny Love.
Johnny Love. Sounds like a DJ. Johnny Love.
Overnight with Johnny Love. Oh, easy listening hits. What's up, Ron?
Ron Bain.
Welcome back. I think Ron popped in last night. Oh, with Eric. So
Potley crew.
Green tea has other benefits. I don't know if I must have tried green tea and I did not like it. But then again, I could have had some green tea crappy, no offense, Janice, chick drink or any other women watching, like that my ex would have been drinking. So I'd say, hey, let me try that. You know what I mean?
There are varying degrees of green tea quality just as much as black tea.
Yeah, like I don't think I've had a cup of tea that was green tea, like just a hot cup of green tea. So it would have been some kind of and I'm not an iced tea fan at all. Like I like my tea warm, same as my coffee. I don't like iced coffee crap.
Yeah.
I try her iced coffee crap. I'm like, well, let me just take a sip of that. I'm like, no.
I do have a little backstory.
You know, and that's an instant gag reflex to me is cold coffee. Spit it out.
I do have a little backstory in regards to green tea. A while, I'd say probably back around 2000, hearing the health benefits of green tea, I was actually taking a multivitamin with a green tea extract in it, while also drinking large amounts of coffee. And the one day I actually went and I had gotten my extra large Tim Hortons coffee, I took a sip, and all of a sudden I started noticing my heart going.
Because you just had caffeine running through your veins. What's that, milk tea?
And so I went to Emerge, and the Emerge doctor said basically you have a toxin buildup of the green tea extract in your body. So quit taking the multivitamins with the green tea and cut back on the coffee. And so that was when I found out that, caffeine can be just as bad for you as, say, like, drugs or whatever else, right?
Caffeine's like any other drug. Yeah. Antioxidants, yeah. What did I see here? The only coffee I can drink cold is Timmy's. Ron Payne says, yeah, I get it. Yeah, my dad would do that. He could nurse a Tim Hortons coffee for hours. And I'm just like, why?
Regular Tim Hortons coffee, no. A dark roast, yes. That's the only drinkable Tim Hortons coffee they actually make anymore.
And I see people mentioning green tea to get off coffee. I get it. Yep. Ron had a great time last night. Came back for more. Awesome. Well, we do this. Yeah. Sundays are usually I interview somebody. Mondays live Q&A, free for all. Because if there's a lack of cues, the show just starts taking a left turn.
And right. yes, Eric, that is very correct. There is definitely a lot of big advantages, green tea extract. But again, people that have sensitivity to caffeine, they really need to watch it when they're drinking any types of teas or coffees or even soft drinks.
Yep. How are we going here? All right. Wow, we're under an hour. Wow. I'm not saying the night's dragging. It just felt like I thought we were already past the hour part. So, all right. Well, rock on. And that's the comment. Michael Kress says, "Don't knock chick drinks. I love chick drinks with fruit and umbrellas. I'm a girl, drink. I dig that. No, that's different. The booze-based ones are really good, Terry. You'll like
Long Island.
Let's be honest.
Tea.
Let's be honest, folks. Like let's be honest. Like we could be our manly man. Just a simple shot of either your bourbon or rye, okay, which is a taste, or a strawberry fucking daiquiri. What's going to taste better, Terry? A strawberry fucking daiquiri. I'm sorry, or something like that. Yeah, Or...
By the way, someone passed me on the information. A large Starbucks is $2.45 versus a large Tim Hortons, which is $1.99.
Jeez, I'm like that guy, the guy with the name Octopus Ears. I'm like, I can't use your words, Ben. He says, I'm with you. It feels like it's been 2 hours. You've just been going quick. So it's been a bit of a rapid fire. All right. Caesars are amazing LRM guitars. Yes. I wouldn't consider them a female drink. I'd say they're universal. They're a breakfast drink. iRock Zed Blues finally made it.
Hey, iRock. I was just looking at Doug Strong's comment to Guitar Man here, and he says...
he's looking at a D28. Yes, that was something else we had discussed on the Zoom call, because I have a D28, and I love it. But I know he likes a bit of a bigger neck, so I wasn't sure if he would like it or not. But he said he's played one and he likes it, and plus the sound, which I agree. I'm biased, because that's literally the sound of my childhood.
Excuse me. Martin Lemaire says, as a teacher, I drink lots of black coffee. Well, hopefully it's not that teacher's lounge coffee.
Whatever gets your... No. Well, I don't know. The brief time that I taught, half a year, basically, half a school year of co-op in a public school, which allowed me to have access to the teacher's lounge, which was really a trip when you're in grade 12, Terry, and you go back to your public school, which it's only been 4 years. So still at least 2/3 of the teachers were the same, we'll say, if not half. And also it's like, sup. And they're all like, hey, and they're like talking to you like a regular person. But they had good
Mr.
coffee.
Lee. Mr. Lee at 856 asks, what
Yes.
is a thin U-shaped neck on a Gretsch guitar like? Please, thank you.
All right. Do I? Don't I?
No, I was going to say that. That
Okay.
would probably be close to it.
All right. All right. What's this neck profile? No, this is not. All right. So, we have a Gretsch. Oh, all right. So, this is a thin neck Gretsch, but let's say, all right, because this is a D shape. So, a thicker D shape, first of all. All right. So, make everything thicker. A U shape has very thick, right along the binding, like your initial shoulder area. That comes straight, like you're going to have a flatness, a noticeable flatness for you. Like it's going to come out and then it's going to start coming around. So a thin U shape means it's going to be a little thinner, but it's still going to have a lot of shoulder. Like it'll be more closer to a C, but with more shoulder, but not a deep C neck. All right.
You wouldn't say similar to an Ibanez wizard neck, right?
In some ways, but a thick, like a thick wizard neck, I guess. No, a really thick wizard neck, maybe. Yeah, it'd be thicker than that. Way more shoulder. Like a thick Gibson neck, but with more shoulder. How's that work? I thought
yeah. So. If you have the ability to go play the guitar, that's your best answer.
I would dig it. Maybe. Because I like V-necks, which is the exact opposite. But on the other hand, I kind of like U-necks on some stuff. It depends what it is. Relax, Gary. It depends on what it is. Comes off the neck more than 90 degrees than a slant angle. Yeah. Well, it comes off at 90 degrees. Yeah.
Oh.
Thanks, Eric. Yeah. And then it's just
Z.
not as overall thickness. Yeah. It's like, okay, take your U-neck, Terry, and you're just going to take, let's say, like a radius block you would use for a fretboard. And you're just using that on the back of a U-neck, and you're just bringing the whole thing in. Just not even a lot. Like a couple mil, maybe.
Since IROC has asked, this is the original S470 that was many moons back, a fuchsia metallic, and was also a 3 pickup. And I've now finally fully converted it to just 2 pickup.
Well, there we are. Well, hey. Check out Travis's work. LRM says, thinking of an Epi Casino for a semi-hollow. I believe they are a full hollow.
Yeah. Casinos are full hollow.
Yeah. I would not recommend that for a semi-hollow. Like, there's nothing wrong with Epiphone Casino. They are their own unique awesomeness, but it is, I believe, a full hollow. I think. Let's be honest, Terry. As the show progresses through the Q&A, Ben partakes. Sometimes he gets a little hazy on occasion. And hell, if it's a really good night and there's a lot of super chats, you could ask me the same question an hour after another and get a different answer each time.
In the case of what you're saying, Eric, you can always, as long as there's a matching pickup cover, you can always change out the casino.
Oh, well, and there's lots of companies that make aftermarket pickups specifically for that style. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks, Charles.
You bastard. Oh, that'd be very nice, Mike Jones. Nice. Love those S bodies. Got a 7-string version made in Japan. Fuji makes it light enough for a 7-string, still mahogany with maple cap tone. Ooh, that would be very nice.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. S bodies are super. The wafer thin. Yeah. I always wanted one of those because they're so thin. I was like, geez, Terry, you could play 10 sets a night with one of those. They don't weigh anything.
Well, and especially like that body's mahogany, and yeah, it still weighs. It doesn't only feels like it weighs about maybe 5-6 pounds, if that, and it's really comfortable.
So the question is, how much material do you need to remove out of a body to make it a semi-hollow? Like, does it need to be just a 2x4 down the center, essentially? Like let's say 335 style traditionally, and everything else is completely chambered. Because if that's the case, my Gretsch is a semi-hollow because it's fully chambered.
Well, considering Fender calls their tele thin lines a semi-hollow, all it is just around the F hole.
Yeah, I don't agree with that because, yeah. But on the other hand, like you look at a Strat. Like if you do the same thing with F hole and a Strat, that's already been the swimming pool route in the front, and you got your trim route in the back. Like, how much is left?
Yeah. There's.
Thank you. And okay,
Eric Johnson has a thin line.
One of them,
and also there's
Nice.
also the Aerodynes, which have the squared off outer edge, but
very googly. I'm opening up Messenger to find the text message from Randy. Jeez Louise. I just can't do it.
Thanks for the super chat, Randy. And yeah, 339s are hit and miss. There's some people that love them, and there's other people that hate them.
I find them entirely too small for me.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm playing a banjo. I don't know why, because it's not as small. It's like playing a Les Paul in many ways. But this is the latest kid to come home for Randy.
Oh, yeah. And
which is his Epiphone 339. And you can tell it's one of the newer ones because she's got the tone corners.
Nice.
Nice with the little acorn inlay, whatever the hell they call those little inlays. Kind of like the Dot series, That's cool. Yep. Not too shabby. Rich's Dean 12-string is 339 sized.
Yeah.
And now that, especially being that it's a 12-string, it had headstock dive. But I found a standard one without the extra 6 tuners up there. I don't think they had a headstock dive, but I don't recall. Like, it was okay to sit down and play a 339, but standing up, it feels like it should be bigger for the sound. I don't know. That's just me. But I don't know. If one came across at the right price, I'd probably pick one up.
Doug Strong says here, there should be a difference between a semi-hollow body and a chambered body. One is specific to weight relief, right? Yes. Semis project a little different. I'm also talking out of my ass. Well,
you know what? I will say the difference between chambered and semi-hollow, you have the F-holes. Therefore, it's like an open back amp as opposed to a closed back amp in some ways. Like not that it does the same thing sonically or anything, but maybe it does. I don't know. But in the same theory that a closed back cabinet as opposed to open back has a different sound. What's up, Mark?
Hey, Mark.
56 people watching. Please give a thumbs up, and if you're new, please subscribe.
Share, subscribe. But I mean, they kind of both resonate, if I understand correctly. Except one, there's more openness.
I don't know. Like, I know the Gretsch sounds a little different from, let's say, my J Tercer, which I know, whatever, it's J Tercer, but it's a solid body, right? So, but it is a little thinner, just a little, but similar. But one has humbuckers and one has their quote-unquote filtertrons. Now, how much do they change the tone as opposed to it being chambered? See what I'm, there's a reason a Gretsch sounds like Gretsch. Now, maybe if you put regular humbuckers in a Gretsch, it sounds like ass. I don't know. So, Bethalco. Hey, buddy, and thank you very much. Hey, Ben.
Falco?
Hey, Bethalco. Chambered is a solid body with the wood removed, yes, and a cap placed on top, yes. And a semi-hollow has a back in front, yes. And has a construction sidewall, yes. So basically what he's saying is glue versus no glue. The sides are secured to the back because it's one piece of wood. With a chambered, basically CNC, or you're just getting right in there with a spoon, just going to town.
Well, there is a difference there in regards to the fact that, well, you got to put the cap on with glue to begin with, so you're not using as much glue.
But also with a semi-hollow, if I'm not mistaken, if you look inside, it's built like an acoustic. Not necessarily with all the cross spacing, but the way you got to get the sides rubber, you got to notch it all, and you know what I mean.
Yep.
You got to do fancy work. You can't just wrap it around, Terry. Is what I'm saying. You can't just wrap it around. Whereas if you just hog it out, you don't have to do all that because you're just hogging it out. So, touche on that. So I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but I'm sure it's got to make some. So I don't know.
Eric says here also, just below it, the weight relief holes aren't meant to focus the resonance.
That's true.
In most common cases, correct. But there are some companies that claim that they've put holes in the bodies to enhance resonance. But that's here nor there.
Terry, I'm going to say they do project sound. Now, whether that translates to resonance, but they do project sound because we know F-hole archtop guitars that are acoustic or with a pickup, single pickup in them. They're built the exact same because it's an acoustic guitar with a pickup in it. And those F-holes, while quieter than, say, a Martin or a Gibson with an actual round sound hole, F-hole guitars are quieter. But they do obviously project.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Thanks, Charles. I'm getting excited, getting the hands involved. I know. But yeah, it's a good thing to talk about. Now, we're at the point now where the amount of weight relief that they put into a modern Les Paul, are we pretty much calling that chambered? Because I think they're removing more material than they're leaving.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I don't know. And there's nothing wrong playing a banjo melt. I agree. I get it.
Yeah,
and Eric mentioned too, the opposite of me. He's like, "Hey, I'm a smaller fella, and I prefer a 339 as opposed to a 335." I get it. Like it used to be, as Richie always says, like someone, "Hey," because a friend of ours, "Hey, I got 339," and it's like, "Great, does it come in a men's?" Yeah.
Yeah,
one of the ladies' golf clubs. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit shorter.
Reminds me of that one former person that we used to know well, and
what's up, Dylan?
They had the same thing when they were standing there playing their 339. We thought it was a 335.
I didn't. I met that person in person.
Yeah.
I knew. What's up, Dylan?
Hey, Dylan.
I gave Dylan a question on what the fuck show over on the Flipside Music channel, which everyone should check out. Leave a question. Even Aaron's supposed to go back and leave a question because it was funny. I was FaceTiming Aaron the other day. He goes, "Hey, how does that FAQ thing work? How do I send in a question?" I was like, "All right, here's how it works, Aaron. You watch a video, yeah, leave a comment with your question for the next week's show in the comment section. That's how it works." Which, again, if you're watching a replay, folks, and especially if you're watching Aaron an hour and 10 minutes in now, and you're watching this on replay, leave a question down below if you have one, and I'll answer it. And we'll even, I don't know, try to answer it on next week's show live on air. That won't happen. I won't remember, but I'll reply in the comments. I will. I promise.
Travis, the F-hole was wearing a G-string. Doug Strong continues with, how does chambering a guitar not affect the resonance? This is the assumption it's only for weight relief.
I'll get back to that in a second. Dylan says, thanks for always leaving one. This week was a solid one as well. And guess what, Terry? I left that comment yesterday morning.
You don't remember.
I never remember.
Hopefully my two things that I left were good, Dylan.
Yeah, I know you're pretty good at leaving stuff too. It's good, we enjoy it. They are our preferred American retailer. Link down below. Affiliate link down below. Oh, no less. I was browsing the site the other day. They got a DOD in stock, Terry, and I went, she's priced right too, and it is the year of the Dodd, but it's also the year of the barbecue first. But once that barbecue bought, which I should reiterate, any channel membership and super chats coming in goes towards barbecue. Because I've always wanted a barbecue, and I don't own a barbecue, and I want a damn barbecue. I like barbecues. It is exactly, Dylan. That's exactly. All right. So, what was who? Doug Strong. How does chambering a guitar not affect the resonance? That this is assumption. It's only for weight relief. I don't know.
How does chambering?
I just play guitar, and it feels right, and plays right. You keep it, you buy it, you do whatever, you make it part of your life. That's what I'm saying.
Well, here's
comments. Whoops, there it is. Mark Taft comments. Milt, I remember the time when Milt brought his first banjo home, and Dad's reaction to said instrument. Mark liked it was there a lot more than his dad did, I think. I'm just saying. Dylan says barbecue, guitars, motorcycles all go together no matter what. This is true. This is true. I would ride a bike, but I can't. I have bad knees. If I dropped it once, I'd be in a wheelchair. There's brother Aaron from Albus Band. I got my ass kicked at work. This week is going to suck. I hear you. It's springtime, Aaron. Everybody wants golf stuff. It's springtime. All of a sudden they realize, Terry, it's April. Hey, I need new golf stuff. Why don't you think of that freaking February? Dicks. And Aaron, I was saying how people can leave comments on this week's FAQ show on Flipside so they get answered on next week's FAQ show. Especially within the first 25 minutes. And then the camera randomly shuts off. And then it becomes a podcast until they realize the camera shut off. Which they're usually pretty quick on, but it shuts off.
Basically what Doug Strong was saying, basically what it comes down to is if the actual takeout of the material isn't in a close enough range together, it won't make it a chamber. But if you actually put them all close enough together, even though there's still bits of material in there, it actually will still form a chamber. And it will still kind of give some resonance or whatnot then. But if they're spaced out with a large amount of material in between, it's not really able to resonate any different than, say, an open cavity.
Right. Dylan says, I'm not quite sure why everyone doesn't just watch as a podcast anyways. Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know. Like, for me, I watch my nightly news, and they don't do a broadcast on Saturday nights, so I have one morning a week where I don't have a news to check out from the night before, and so that's where the FAQ fits in perfectly. Then they switched it to start doing it a different day of the week. I'm like, no, this is when I watch it, and that's what I do. And
then they also wouldn't have to worry about the camera shutting off at the 27-minute mark every video.
This is true. Yeah, but we can't look at that cool background if they have no camera.
True.
Mark comments, Dad definitely did not like banjos. Nope. Excuse me.
Yes, Doug, and that's exactly the point. Like
the vibration in the wood. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's if you do it in slivers, you're gonna have so much bracing left that it doesn't make a real lick of a difference. It's like routing for an extra pickup. You know, the guitar doesn't necessarily become more resonant, although you are filling that cavity with a pickup anyway. So, apples the word I did. Talking out of ass at this point. You know, we're $1.15 in. We're in overtime. This is a 1 hour show. That's never an hour, folks. And that's fine, folks. And rambling and last saxophone. Oh, by the way, I figured I would throw it out there because I remembered for once. Strain of the day is Fruity Pebbles. Yep. Oh, and reminder, Mark, in the chat, I'll be picking you up at noon tomorrow. Mark's coming over. We're going to get the Ford out tomorrow. Don't get too excited, Terry.
Oh my God, Dylan, that would be crazy.
I've had the same thing this year with price increase. We had to do something neighborhood 1,700 retag. We're just hanging. We're on at this point. We go until I feel I'm like, nah. This does feel like it's cool anymore. I don't know. We go until we go. That's how it works. Noon sounds good. Good.
All right, Randy. Have a good night.
In the morning. I ain't showing up at noon.
Yeah, no, I don't think we're doing
any more Randy.
8-hour
Enjoy that new guitar, my friend. We'll talk soon. Oh, stretches.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's the elbows. So we'll get the car out tomorrow so I can dig out the riding lawnmower. Because the grass it's getting green. It hasn't really started growing yet. Thank the baby Jesus. But then, see, Terry, it's supposed to be sunny and nice tomorrow. And then like 3 days of rain. And I noticed the grass is just getting ready to grow. And I know after 3 days of rain, I need to mow that grass next week probably. Because Ben may have put the mower a week away. You know, I put the mower away a week or two early last year. So it's close to needing a cut. Yes, that's true, Charles. I do believe Legend has that flip side. If someone asks a question they don't know the answer to, they ask their mummy.
That would be funny.
Funnier would be randomly on one show someone comes out of that thing.
Or even better, let's consult the 8-ball.
The key is, Dylan, since you're watching and Ike isn't, is you arrange for somebody to come out of that thing 1 week, and Ike doesn't know there's anybody in there.
Oh,
and
that would be hilarious.
The absolute bejesus out of them. And that becomes your viral video. Because then you make a short of just that part. And that, marketing. The flip side mascot comes out of the mummy, scaring Ike. Maybe you get the old Record Archive mascot. Ike knows what I'm talking about.
Ron Bain asks you, Ben, do you still have the Demon Tube Screamer?
Demon Tube Screamer. Do I still have it?
And while you're doing that, Dylan says, Ben, I may have to hire a very petite midget in order to make this work. I've actually been planning on that for a stretch now. Haha.
Sweet. That's why I love you, Dylan. That's why I love you. So it's not. I think I still own it. I thought it was over there because I think it may have finally went back in box. Oh, what's this?
You could always hire a man or Hornswoggle.
It was right on top.
Ooh. Oh, cool.
But she's for sale if a feller wants it. Just saying.
You know what's funny is looking at the
logo.
It's
got all
there,
the Velcro
Demon,
on the bottom.
If you look at Demon, it's in the Gibson type font.
Well, the fact that it actually says Overdrive Pro TS808 and TS9 and tube tour, and like seriously, like how do you get away with that? Come on, focus closer. Now back it off. Back it off. There it is. God, come on.
It's kind of crazy, yeah.
Like, how are you not getting sued at the wazoo? Oh, you just bought one. Dang it.
For
So
$45.
Yeah, I would have let it go for that. But then again, shipping. So
Welcome, Jack.
I should arrange the pedals by alphabet. Oh, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of there's like all those and all those and all these ones, and then there's those ones. There's those ones and those ones. Then there's those ones. And then there's over there you don't see. And then there's those ones. Then there's those ones. And then there's those ones. And there's those ones. Yeah. No. I barely go by color. All right, Mark. That's cool. And Mark, we may finish off this Fruity Pebbles. Ooh, yeah, look at that. That's a good stuff. Doug Strong owns a grand total of 4 pedals. We're going to change that, Doug. I told you. We'll hook you up. Hey, Doug, do you need a Tube Screamer / TS808? Could be your 5th pedal.
Johnny Love says here at 9:21, does anyone else get annoyed every now and then with Hendrix dying so young in terms of the music we missed out on, interviews, and so on and so on? I kind of agree.
Yep. I'd be curious to see what he would have done. Like, would he have gone with a big band, small band?
Yeah, band-wise, I'm not sure, but his former producer there, Eddie Kramer, said he feels that he would have probably went into funk. And
that's the thing. Like, look at okay. I'm just gonna say, like, not the same music-wise, but the Beatles, because they split up about the same time around the same time Hendrix passed away. Mm-hmm. Look what they did over, say, the next decade. So, like, John Lennon released some material, but he also did a lot of partying over that decade. There were some lost years in there. What's up, Dale Palmer? Not quite at the end. I'm like, did we end and I'm not aware? Did my internet? Hello, am I still on? Because there's Dale. I didn't mean to end. We need to talk a decent fuzz. All right, Doug. Or I could group sell you a bunch of shitty fuzz, and then you could decide amongst that. But no, I wouldn't do that. No, we'll figure out some fuzz for you. I have some decent fuzz too. I think I got some mid-range fuzz. I don't know what I got for fuzz. I got fuzz. I have fuzz. Then again, me, Terry, a crappier fuzz and a better fuzz, I don't notice a lot of difference because, yeah. I'd be curious with Hendrix, like, we saw where he was going with the Banded Gypsies thing, so would he have gone more blues rock style? But where does that go? Because let's take Clapton, for instance. You have Cream, blues rock, right? And John Mayer, blues rock. But through the 70s, then you get in stuff like all of it, his whole solo career there, that was more just rock, I would say, as much as anything else, because it shaped the way a lot of music went. So I don't know. I think you probably would have went similar route to Clapton in many ways. Add or take away band members as needed. It would be just a floating thing.
Yeah, I think it would be like interchanging, kind of like how Zappa was.
Well, and because artists, especially established artists, had more control in the 70s, like say similar to Neil Young. Like Neil Young could do an acoustic tour solo, but then he would pull out Crazy Horse, and then we're just going to rock our asses off for a tour.
Mm-hmm.
DoD fuzz, I don't know if they're any good. I'm the wrong person to ask if a fuzz is good or not.
I had an Effects 69 classic fuzz, and it was an awesome fuzz. It had that whole 60s fuzz vibe going on with it.
Yeah, that's hard to say, Dylan. You may, like I say, may have pivoted towards funk or gone, keep doing the blues thing. I don't know. Or does he, start refining that tone and go like Richie Blackmore route or something, but more blues based. I don't know.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like when Eddie Kramer was asked that, and I mean, he was the one who worked with Hendrix the most. So him saying that that's what he thought that Hendrix would go to,
He's probably right then.
Yeah, he'd be right.
Yeah, I really don't know. I would have really liked to have seen Hendrix with a Floyd Rose.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Especially having that versatility to go up and down.
Well, no, like for Hendrix to stay in tune. Jesus, like
True.
He would have just got and attacked it that much more, I think. So I don't know.
I guess Jack
Ron Bain is the DoD Carcosa is a great fuzz. I think I've heard that. Michael Krause says the same thing. Get one before they're all gone. All right, well,
yeah, that's a good one.
Survey says the Carcosa is a good one. If I'm saying that right, which I'm probably not because I don't know. Hip Metal Works is not in Ontario. Nope, he's out on the West Coast, Doug. He likes it out there where it's like, less snow.
And Jack Collins, I'm not sure when you last seen me, but yeah, I've been rocking short hair for, I don't know, about 2 or 3 months or so. As opposed to over a year ago, I got it cut.
I may get a haircut this week. Just because I'm kind of getting tired of sitting on my hair. Getting that long. So I told Amanda, I'm like, just hack like that much off. I don't care. I'm not going to notice it. I'm like, just keep it at least shoulder length. I'm happy.
I got that way probably with my hair being long recently was when I started eating it more.
Yes, newer DoD. Apparently DoD's in business, Ryan. I was not aware of it till recently. Oh.
Yeah, the Carcosa came out probably about...
Yes, Hip Metal Works. I've never been there, but there's a reason why we call it God's country. I would love to live on Vancouver Island. Carcosa is a newer DoD.
Yeah.
Yes, tone hair will be shortened. They're semi in business.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Well, they're obviously being an outsourced ghost manufacturer because DoD is not making anything in-house because that would involve them being another, high production Canadian pedal company, which, Terry, last time I checked, there is no high production Canadian pedal company per se. Like the closest would be is Red. I don't know how high production.
Solid Gold Effects out of Montreal.
I wouldn't say high production. Like high production, you pretty much Europe, like Healy, Wampler, MXR, Boss.
Yeah, but Rev only does.
You're not boutique in any way, shape, or form to be, because DoD was out there, same as MXR, Boss. Like Radial. Dylan, you always know the answers. Radial, yes. I will say Radial. But Radial doesn't really make effects per se. They make stuff you need, not stuff you want, Terry. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Empress. Empress is also one that I recently
figured
out was Canadian.
Again, I think they lean more on the boutique side than high production numbers.
I don't know if DoD is Canada, unless Digitech is actually in Canada.
They're owned by something which is more or less owned by Long McQuaid.
Yeah.
/ Yorkville. They have a whole lines of preamps and distortion units. Really? God damn it, Dylan.
Radial, yeah.
We need to talk.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get Dylan back on again just to catch up more.
Yeah, well, Dylan was saying that on the one. FAQ, I think.
He's so smart. Although I have to get Ike on again, too, because it's not fair to have Dylan on twice in a row with not having Ike on. Then again, maybe we'll see. Ike's busy. Maybe I'll say maybe once you get your new store set up, we'll have you on more often. Ike, you're busy. Yeah, see that's the thing. Like when I think radial, I think like switchers and DIs, and, like really good quality infrastructure. Radial in that pedal form or even rack form, like Terry, like outboard gear form is what like how reliable PV was in the 80s. You know, solid state PV, like they're just reliable and their PA systems reliable. It's just all their pro audio is very reliable, and radial's the same deal. But not for the cool factor. That's
Wow.
what you need.
Jack Collins says, my birthday was April 3rd.
Happy birthday.
Happy belated birthday. And says, my wife comes in from a garage sale all day with an Epiphone standard Les Paul with 57 classics in it for $50.
Awesome.
Wow.
I think those are the pickups that's in this thing. Assuming this has the original pickups, which who the hell knows?
Yeah.
But this started life as a 57. I don't want to say tribute. Well, it was something like that. It was a gold top 57. Oh, man, I always forget how heavy this guy. Not heavily weight relief, Terry, at all, if at all.
No.
But yeah, this started out life as a gold top, then became a white top, then became a kind of a copper bronzy top. With the red backs. Yeah, it had all cream. Yeah, with the cream pickup ring. And I think they're the 57 classics in that too. I think.
Radio.
I don't know. I can't take them out, Terry, because the heads are like, well, this one's missing 2 of the 4 screws. And this one is rotted to the point where you can't, it's flush. There's no purchase. There's
Yeah,
like you gotta basically you're gonna have to break.
Ring to take it
I'm gonna break the ring to get it out. Which are they even broke? Well, that one's cracked. I don't know if that one's cracked. I'd be surprised if they're not, because the thing.
Or maybe the only other solution in that instance.
Everything, all the hardware was aged by me.
Yeah. I was going to say your only other solution in the case of something like that, where the head's almost gone, would be to take a switchable screwdriver tip and super glue it in place, and then put it back into the thing, and then screw the screw.
I could try that. Yeah, I bet you it still wouldn't break loose. I'll probably snap the. I'm afraid I'll snap the damn screw because they're so rotted. I wouldn't doubt if whoever owned that guitar before it came into Rich's world sweat all over that thing to the point where I can just imagine how rotted those screws are. Doug Strong's got the limited run Golden Fleece. It's a germanium fuzz that he used more as a distortion pedal because it gets unruly at about 11 for my taste. And he doesn't love it. Yeah, maybe we can make a trade. Just saying. I've been interested in getting a Golden Fleece myself.
And not get fleeced while getting it.
Dan of New Jersey's drop in knowledge. Is that what Dodd stands for? Dude's initials? The dude from Dodd? You prefer pick guards on LPs? Yes. Always. Always have a pick guard, in my opinion.
In my case, it's a depends. Depends on.
A lot of people like the depends. You know, like gold top should. It looks better on a gold top.
Yeah.
Or say
a gold
black
top without a pick guard looks bleh.
You know, but people will say a flame top. You know, we never hide a flame top, but the rest of the time put one on. Other people like BC Rich say never. Like Slash, never. Whereas I'm always. Founder of Dodd. Thanks, Dan. I appreciate that. I'm always pick guard. And that's one of the reasons I would have a hard time buying a new Les Paul, Terry, because a lot of times they include the pick guard and the screws to install it, but they don't pre-drill the holes. Why should I have to drill holes into a $3,500? Well, by the time it's at the door, the better part of $4,000 with tax for a new Les Paul standard. I got to pay almost $4,000, and then I either have to pay or take the chance to drill through nitro paint screw holes. That's fucking ridiculous.
No,
that pick guard should be installed.
Speaking
If you don't
on
want
that,
it, you deal with the holes.
speaking on that, I seen a person do a custom build of a Les Paul, and actually, what they did to get around actually putting on a pick guard, instead of putting the screws in place, what they did was they took, I guess, like a really thin piece of plastic, and they mounted it at the 2 points on the back of the pick guard, slid it under the pickup rings, and then did the screws through the pickup rings, and that actually held the pick guard in place on it. I was like, wow, that's really smart.
Johnny Lewis says, I suppose they're thinking you've got the choice then. Yeah, but you don't, right? Like within the
Yeah.
holes, do you really have a choice? And I get people that don't like, like BC Raiders or people, other John Shane that don't like the pick guards on there. Like, I don't want a hole there because I don't want the guard on it.
That's the other thing too. When Gibson designed that new clip-in pick guard, they only offered it on certain models.
Some of the companies started messing around with countersinking like rare earth magnets, like super small rare earth magnets. So you can have like the end of a pinhead. Your rare earth magnet is more than enough to work, and you can slide that right into the binding of the fretboard, on right there where that screw goes, and then on the side, you just hide it under the side binding.
Yeah.
Boom. It's going to stay enough. It's a guitar, not a Ferrari.
Very true, John.
See, Charles says, pick guards are like fender skirts on cars. They belong on. I like your style, Charles. Okay, Dan mentions Gibson tried making a pick guard that latched on the pickup rings, didn't go over.
Yes, that's what I was mentioning, Dan.
All right. Ooh, here we go. I think this might be the last question of the night because I start feeling a headache coming on. Not good. Let's have some soda pop. That'll help. Octopus Ears asks, is the Hot Rod Deluxe 212 any good? Yep.
Apparently, very many people recommend that.
I've never heard anyone says it sucks ass.
Yep.
Industry standard. Oh, and it's a good mod platform too. You can mess around with tubes. Especially if you put some like good tubes in them. Oh, they really come to life. Richie, the Seafoam Bastard's a DeVille. It's a 410 DeVille. It started out life as, but he separated it and he put all new old stock tubes in it, and that thing just sings.
I was just going to say, if Aaron's still in the chat, isn't that what he plays through as a DeVille?
I don't know. He
might. I thought he said he
one of his 2 amps. He plays stereo, I believe.
Yeah.
I think I know he used to use I think a Hot Rod DeVille and a Vox.
Yeah.
As his 2 amps. I could be wrong on that.
Well, that's kind of what this trainer is basically. It's a lot like the DeVille.
Nice.
That I got.
Yeah. Basically, it's a 212 version of my amp with a hotter preamp. Like it has more gain.
Yeah.
Because there's the Blues Deluxe, the Hot Rod Deluxe, and the DeVille. And the Hot Rod DeVille. There's just so many. I don't know. They're good. They're good. If nothing else, use the clean channel and you got a hell of a pedal platform.
Well, there is one nice advantage of the guitar being a guitar over a Ferrari. If you don't have to burn out a clutch that costs you $5,000 plus to replace.
That's true. Octopus here says having only 22 watts scares me, but it does sound good. I think 22 would be more than enough, and beyond that, you'd be miking you as well as the drummer.
I'll say this thing's a 40.
Now, wait a minute. Now, that said, as I wrap the bookend the show, Terry, see how I do this? I'm going to wrap things up and everything. This is how I can do this. Isn't Octopus Ears the same cat that's going to be trying out with the metal band?
Yes.
If so, that's not the amp for that band.
Yep.
Unless unless you're strictly using it as a pedal platform and you have your LPD 87 or some higher gain pedal that's going to push it, then you'll be okay. So, there we go. So on that note, Terry, any parting words?
Yep.
There it is. Ooh, let's have more.
Thanks everyone for checking out the refinish of the Ibanez S470. If you haven't went to my channel and checked out the 2 videos, please go do so now. I could use the watch time and the views. Beyond that, I hope everyone's safe and well and has a great week this week.
Awesome. So yeah, coming out this week, I've got Canucks, or my NASCAR podcast with Doug. Tomorrow night, I believe 8:30 Eastern. His son doesn't drag his ass leaving roller hockey. Whatever. Anywho's, I got that. I got some soda pop reaction videos coming out. I got a workbench video coming out this week, I think, of some kind that I'm not sure yet. I'd like to do one thing, but I don't know if I'm going to do it yet. If not, I'm going to do a setup on one of these back there. This Thursday, Guitar Town Hall with Dave Nesdall and myself. New Guitar Dave. I'll be talking about the pedals I picked up recently that I've talked about on a previous show here, but I haven't talked about it on that show, so I'm going to talk about them on that show. Easter weekend. Everyone celebrate accordingly. If not, enjoy the time off if you have time off with friends and or family, whatever you prefer. If you don't like your family, hang out with your friends. If you don't like your friends, hang out with your family. If you don't like either of them, hang out here on YouTube. There's always somebody going live in our community, which is awesome. Easter Sunday. You've had the Easter dinner, Terry, possibly a ham, possibly a turkey, possibly both. I don't know what you're into. You're eating, I just want to relax. Families, I've had it up to about here with the family people. Well, that, 8 p.m. rolls around on Sunday. And by the way, I don't think there's a Pete Thorne show this week. So, I'll be live Sunday at 8 p.m. with RJ Ronquillo, talking about RJ Ronquillo type topics. Sure. But if you want an earlier dose and you haven't already, please subscribe to RJ's channel. The guy shouts me out every week. We still got 48 people here. If you haven't already subscribed to RJ Ronquillo, please do. Coffee Time with RJ at 10:30 every Saturday morning. Yep, 10:30 every Saturday morning. Coffee Time with RJ, which is always a fun show. I know when Terry's awake, he pops in. Mm-hmm. Always awake. He likes to party it up on Friday night sometimes. So Saturday morning comes a little too early for him on occasion, folks, is what I'm saying. He's a wild child. Nice. We reel him in every Monday, but he's a wild child. But yeah, definitely check that out. RJ's a great guy. And then back here Monday with that guy. Yeah, Terry. And maybe Tom, if he's feeling better than he is obviously tonight.
Hope you're doing well, Tom.
Everyone likes RJ. Well, as you should. And like I say, I don't know, maybe you're watching because of RJ and because he shows me out every week. Maybe. But yeah, it's great. We'll probably talk soda pop, Terry. I bet you we'll talk soda pop on Sunday night for a bit. Because I know he watches those videos. So there we go. Again, that's Terry. I'm Ben. You're you. Still. Unless you changed your name while we were live. I don't know. Well, I understand symmetry. I get it. It's hard for you West Coasters to catch them live. I get it. So where's that? That's that right there. We had Dale well before the end. Maybe he had something else to do because, Dale has a life too, folks. I'm just saying. You can't just wait around to the end every live stream ever to comment. But he does. All right. I got timies now, so I know exactly how long these videos are. What? Yeah, sure. We referenced this band earlier. Sure. It's cover tune. What? Pizza? No. Hold those doors open. Let Doug's wife in heading in traffic because she's real. Please. Thanks, everybody that tuned in tonight. Appreciate each and every one of you. Links to cool stuff down below. You want to help out the channel? Hit that join button down below. Become a channel member. It'd be cool. And we do exclusive things. Guess that's what we do. I don't know. Rambling? Why? Because you went back to the chat for a sec because a bunch of people talked. All right. Good night, folks. Don't litter.
Hey Ben, if you really want your guitar to sound weird, get a 12-string pack of strings and then throw out the 6-string set and then take the high 6-string set and then drop that down to a B and put them on your 6-string guitar. Snort! I'm gonna eat pizza.